And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 27th episode of the Crypto Bull. My name is Dimitri from Gracious Interests. I'll be your, main attraction. I'll be the guy who will do the technical analysis of today's token, Cartesi token. This time I've chosen this coin or token based on, I mentioned in my tweets, but a shilling video made by BitBoy. Why? Well, quite simply, I didn't have any inspiration at all to find another coin or token which seemed remotely interesting to, analyze. There are plenty of tokens, but yeah, simply changing strategies for once, testing it out, etc. And, better informing the public to see, if we really are talking about genuine projects or really shield tokens and coins. So, little rundown how we are going to do this. Well, most of my fans who have seen my other videos from CryptoBull will know that I will simply look up the project. We'll do a full head-on analysis of its website, try to find out what is written in its white paper, trying to learn what it really is about, do some translations of all technical jargon, and naturally I'm going to take a look at the variety of communities and social media attached to that account. I'm also going to evaluate and look up its pricing history, when it was incepted, etc., etc. All in all, quite thorough investigation, my apologies, of the project itself to see if it's investment worthy, if it's not a scam, or if it's really something that can become something future-wise. So, without further ado, let us begin. I'm going to start sharing my screen here. Oh, there's something infinity today. I'm having trouble pronouncing my words correctly here. Anyway, like I said, Cartesi token ranked by market cap as number 186. Let us see. Currently valued at 75 USD dollars, 0.75 dollar cents. I need to be correct here. What do we see here? I see dedicated website. Oh, dedicated website. Click on it. We'll get back to that one later on. I see an Ethereum smart contract address here. So that implies I'm going to run it through my Token Sniffer. That's a little program I tend to use, to verify a variety of tokens and coins which are present on a variety of blockchains, mostly Binance and Ethereum. Now, what I am a little bit concerned about are the amount of explorers here present. See Etherscan, okay, an explorer, which implies it is present on the Ethereum blockchain. But I also see Cartesi, which implies it has its own main blockchain. I also see Polygon Scan and BSC Scan. So that would imply it is present on the Ethereum blockchain. It has its own blockchain. It is present on the Polygon blockchain and on the Binance Smart Chain. Very first time I'm seeing such a diverse array of platforms. Now, from what I can tell, naturally people might say, yeah, you've read up on already about it. You mentioned BitBoy's video. In reality, no. I mainly took over the token and did, not really any research. But anyway, let's continue. I wanted to say it gives me the impression it is something like, it's going to be related towards cross-chain interactions. So I'm assuming it's going to be something financial. Don't know. We'll see what it does. Communities, I see here: Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, Telegram, Discord app, LinkedIn, and Bitcoin Talk. I believe it's the very first time I see an immediate link towards LinkedIn. Anyway, source code available on GitHub. That's nice. API identification, Cartesi. Tags generally can give me a little bit of, an idea of what we are dealing with here. Tax token, I guessed as much, though generally, if it has its own blockchain, like indicated here in Explorers with Cartesi, it should be a coin, not immediately a token. But you never know. Tags a smart contract platform, so it's probably going to be related, especially combination of infrastructure and smart contract platform, something with app development or development of smart contracts. So I'm thinking in terms of Chainlink. This actually might be interesting here. And if there were any negative connotations, the case might be that I'm wrong, but you never know. What do I see here? Historical value, 2 days run, quite volatile it seems. Is variating in a range of 3 cents approximately, 74 lowest today, the max slightly above 77. Actually, like I said, I'm more inclined and interested into the max run. See, it's been listed since last year, April 24, so it's about 1 year and a few months old. It peaked here. Well, when the market peaked and Bitcoin achieved its all-time high approximately on 9th of May 2021, so it tends to follow market sentiment. Quick downgrade, very quick, tremendously even. Good dip here in July, which was about the time that, the entire market was in decent dip. Quick recovery, and here there's a sudden jump, so it implies there's some appreciation going on. It is already, what I'm going to say, slightly more, trading information, trading indicators. Considering those jumps, I'm going to assume it is being closely related towards the Ethereum blockchain. Otherwise, such immediate jumps are nearly impossible. Or something has happened in the last couple of days by which it made a jump. And from what I can tell, I think I know what exactly, considering the date here. Like I said in the video, in my tweets, I said I was going to take a token which was being shilled by BitBoy, and it indeed is but a few days old, so that's his influence here. So I'm going to assume it was actually in a downtrend, and when he made a video, that's the uptick that was being made. Interesting. I'm more inclined to say, well, the true run was up until, I'm not going to say July somewhere, but up here somewhere, 6 or 7 of August, and this is influence of chilling. You can even see it here with trading volume. So that's a dangerous game being played. It's one of the reasons why I'm adapting my strategy of token choice and going to take a look at what some main YouTube influencers are doing, just to counter the movement and really, really root out all the bullshit that's going around. Sorry, my cats are around here, if you hear some meowing. Anyway, couple of hours, so the entire market is turning green, so it's nice seeing this one turn green. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So up until its entire run until May, it was in bullish cycle and went down, with the exception of, well, the now, I'm going to say. Going to keep on zooming in, and you can see quite clearly here when the video was launched, and it's actually returning the more I'm zooming in into, well, more stable levels, or, well, into a level where people are taking money away from it. So yeah, if you want an example of a token that's being shielded by influencers and what their price variation incur, that's, well, school example. That's something you do not want to see with such kind of tokens. Anyway, you never know. He might be right, I might be wrong. But yeah, this is something which speaks for itself. I'm not going to get all too deep into it. So, where it's available, Crypto.com exchange, Binance Coinbase exchange, Binance. So it's mostly used, exchange is going to be on Binance. Cartesi coin price and market data, 75 cents, that we know. Circulating supply of 380 million Ctsi coins and a total supply of 1 billion. Positive aspect, there is a hard market cap. I always like seeing a limited market cap, amount of tokens to be produced. By reason, it implies scarcity and rarity on the long term. In relation to the 380 million, well, it's slightly more than 1/3 of it being already in circulation. So there's still some time to buy in, etc. So it implies there's still some room for growth, and that its actual run still needs to apply. So that's good news. What is Cartesi? Let's see. He's taking smart contracts to the next level. Okay, it is solving the urgent problem of scalability and high fees on blockchains by implementing a variant of optimistic rollups. Okay, so they claim to solve a problem of scalability and high fees. High fees, only that I can imagine, is going to be Ethereum, which even after the EIP1559 update, still has quite high transaction fees. Other blockchains do not really have such problems. Well, few of them have, but those are mainly being built on Ethereum blockchain. So let's just see. By implementing a variant of optimistic rollups, clickable link, I want to see what that means. Immediately refer to Medium article. Is it going to be the same one? Nope. Issues its token comp. Let's just read what it is about. Process of gentrification. For weeks, blockchain was unused for most decentralized applications. One time not fixing scalability is urgent for the sustainability of Ethereum's ecosystem. That's right, but Ethereum itself is busy fixing their scalability issue by implementing proof of stake future-wise. The EIP 1559, despite me being quite negative about it, is actually one of the very first updates or important updates to solve the scalability. Anyway, so something's telling me Cartesi itself is already being made redundant by the very blockchains that it was, developed for. Anyway, they even mentioned here, meanwhile, the Ethereum Foundation has been hard at work to make sharding available on Serenity, and through that raise the transaction throughput to higher levels. Due to hefty technical challenge, full-fledged sharding with support to smart contract isn't coming anytime soon. That's true. Scalability improvements on layer 1 cannot match Ethereum's user base. Is vigorous growth. It is keen to propose rollups as the weapon they need to defeat massive gas fees and perform better. So they are underlining the current problems, still present problems with Ethereum and everything built on it. And so the transaction fees concerns the smart contracts. More promising to scaling than Plasma. So here it is. It emulates a RISC visa called a Cartesi machine. It has been designed to run a computerly intensive decentralized logic off-chain on a Linux environment. Reproducible. Hold on a second. So Cartesi rollups. So this implies it's a solution to scaling. I'm going to translate it as best as I can into proper English, plain English. And actually what they mention with this is, we are going to create a virtual machine that is not on the blockchain itself, but off-chain, so off the blockchain, within a Linux environment. Okay, that's already highly specific. Cartesi machines are self-contained and reproducible. Copy-paste mechanisms. That's basically what they are saying. They are also transparent, meaning that they expose their state for external inspection through syntmerical tree proofs. So they say, we have some transparency. You can verify our coding, etc., through available sources. Now, something's ringing here with me, and it isn't all too good. Cartesi team is currently working on an update of its system to support optimistic rollouts with interactive dispute resolution. So they are working on an update of their systems or implementation contributes directly to smart contracts. Also makes Cartesi if Cartesi smart contracts run off chain on Cartesi. To create most of So it's a smart contract development platform which promises to improve upon scalability. That's basically what is being said here. If I'm wrong, people may join me in chat and prove me wrong, but that's basically what I'm reading here. And they say, well, we're making use and support Linux. So that's but one program, really, operating system. Want an incremental improvement to decentralized application. We see it unnecessary towards maturity. So that's some marketing bullshit talk. Scale Ethereum. Volatility proofs it, Carol. On fraud proofs, optimistic in of. So yeah, they're doing an entire explanation here. Can be interesting for you guys to read through. I'm not going to do it during this live stream, otherwise it would take all too long. Oh, sorry. So what makes Cartesi unique? I'm going to read the about here. The competitive as allows developers to code smart contracts and depth directly with mainstream software components and Linux operating resources. So it's a little bit like I said. So it allows developers to code. I'm trying to rehash my words here. So it's basically for coding their own smart contracts and decentralized applications with what they call mainstream software components and a Linux operating system resources. Okay, I didn't know there were some problems with the current state of affairs, but hey, you never know, you never know. I might be slightly sarcastic here. That represents more than incremental improvement to decentralized applications. Yeah, to be honest, they are not lying in the sense that it makes it more easy for adoption by the mainstream programming community, I'm going to say. So it isn't necessarily light, but most who occupy themselves with blockchain don't really need such implementations from the get-go. Their knowledge is already more extensive than what they are trying to make. The whole blockchain ecosystem, allowing mainstream programmability, means that developers have an entirely new expressive how to create from simple to rather complex smart contracts. Any decent programmer can already do so. It also means opening the doors for extensive adoption of regular developers who have now programmed for blockchain, as they will create decentralized applications with coding experience similar to desktop or web. I'm going to say this is going to be a very quickly redundant blockchain project. I must say the goal of themselves is worthy, it's worthwhile. However, innovation doesn't stand still, and there already exists a variety of other mechanisms for general developers to create their own smart contracts, blockchains, etc. By simply typing in and choosing pseudocode, which translates it to, well, the necessary components in your code. So this actually makes, well, what makes Cartesi unique is already slightly redundant. Nevertheless, it can be a very nice experiment or exercise in programming, really, and seeing what can be done on blockchain and what can be implemented. You never know. So key highlights is called highly scalable smart contracts that we know, mainstream programmability, that's what they're aiming for, large scalability, it's actually the same as what is being said here, so it's already redundant. Privacy guarantees allows for decentralized games where players conceal their data and enterprise applications that run on sensitive data, preserving privacy on dApps. This isn't really something unique or that needs to be highlighted. It comes with blockchain itself and anything that is programmed on it. Portability is a blockchain agnostic and will run on top of most important chains. Current implementations already support Ethereum, Binance, Matic, and with Elrond coming soon. So they make themselves highly adaptable for, well, I'm going to say the major blockchains for development applications. And So yeah, not all too surprising. Still, a nice exercise, but I must say it doesn't really convince me what its use case is. Some may need it, but generally, it's already a little bit redundant, if I may be honest, by reasons that I've already mentioned that exist already. Programs and a variety of tricks and tips and programs on the internet and in various fora for anyone who is occupying themselves for programming on blockchain, etc., to implement already such scalable systems to develop them themselves by making use of pseudocode. This is already redundant, and to be totally blunt, it's already expressed here if you take a quick peek at the historical value on a 1-year scale. It's remained quite low and is moving with the market, and only here by having tipped off an influencer gained in price. So I'm under the impression here it's already been made redundant, and they simply thrown some money to some influencers in hopes of getting some credit and perhaps bailing out. I've got a vague impression this one's going to be that project what concerns its run for next year. Anyway, I want to give it a fair trial. I might always be wrong. Perhaps later on, when doing the social media, I might encounter something which might change my mind. Anyway, overview and use case for Ctsi is a utility token that works as a crypto fuel for Ether. Okay, what's that? Stakers receive Ctsi rewards by staking their tokens and participating in the network, so proof of stake. Node runners are selected randomly according to a POS system and gain the right to create the next block. That means they're making use of a BTF, Byzantine Fault Consensus proof of stake mechanism. Byzantine thing there of fraud, like I said, the BTF. Actually lets you circulate the master nodes so that not always the same ones are validating and verifying all transactions made. Many proof of stake based coins make use of a BTF in one way or another. Anyway, as of the network pays Ctsi fees to insert data on the side chain. So okay, that's quite a normal setup. With Descartes rollups will be used by decentralized applications to outsource the execution of verifiable and enforceable computation to entities running Descartes nodes. Can be read on Cartesi network and Ctsi article. I'm not going to click on it. I'm going to verify this website. Important note, I want to see it load quite fast, which it does. Code smart contracts with REST. What's that here? MongoDB, okay. So it's for coding smart contracts. Mainstream software stacks take a productive leap from Solidity to the vast universe of software components supported by Linux. Okay. They say massive scalability, privacy guarantee, so it's a rehearsal of anything. Delegated staking is now live. Phase 1 testnet. Okay, so 1 year old and they're still on testnet. That's good to know. Just to keep in mind. So fans of this token or are in disagreement with my words already and say, no, it's going to be great. It's still on testnet, so keep an eye on all news considering this project. Descartes, decentralized computational oracle for blockchains. Now I know what Descartes is. Descartes executes massive computational tasks off-chain. Don't like seeing that one. It implies it isn't entirely decentralized. It can be centralized by a central server on a Linux virtual machine fully specified by a smart contract. That opens up the possibility for hacks and fraud. The results of the computations are fully verifiable and enforceable on-chain by honest Descartes node runners, preserving the strong security guarantees of the underlying blockchain. So they inquire a certain amount of trust already. Descartes rollups, so this, that's the same one like Descartes here, but they say we can now build it with mainstream software and things running on a Linux virtual machine. No Ether is Cartesi sidechain designed for temporary data availability. It allows decentralized apps to achieve high throughput and storage of large files with much reduced fees. So it is a side chain which works in tandem with Cartesi, it seems, simply for storing large files. Not a good move. It implies wonky programming in a certain sense. If they've done it correctly, they should have either made the block sizes big enough or work a little bit like Chainlink and will run everything to trusted oracles, which are verified and audited from time to time. Admittedly, my words when I said, yeah, it implies centralization, correct, but with Chainlink things differ, but for that I refer towards one of my previous episodes I've done on Chainlink itself, where its entire setup makes it, well, proves it to be more decentralized than what I'm reading here at the moment. Just to make sure, I'm going to buy Ctsi. I don't like seeing that one if I want to learn more. Oh, and it's about mining from the get-go. Oracle optimized for ephemeral data. So they made a sidechain blockchain for temporal data, but only require temporary availability of data and with novel temporary storage data ledger that will open new, efficient, and cost-effective venues for applications on Ethereum. So they made a special blockchain, I'm going to assume, for temporal data verification, and then have it discarded. That's actually a bit of bullshit right there. Well, it's being presented as something nice, but there's a logical flaw in doing so. By reason, if they want temporary data, it's better to set up a system of oracles or trust resources whereby you can draw your information from, then instead of implementing an entirely new blockchain, program it out, which adds to the complexity of your entire ecosystem, which makes it more vulnerable to a variety of attacks and, well, flaws and bringing the entire network down. When it concerns blockchain, you have to keep things simple. One chain, one use case, and just make sure it works. That's basically the gist of it. If you're starting to work with a side chain or an additional chain, a few episodes ago, I had one of those networks who also tended to work with, how to say, a compilation of blockchains, but being presented as one. It was a main blockchain brought together with an immediate second layer solution on top of it. It was actually a shit project. I didn't dare to say it during that live stream. I'm going to say it now. It was a clusterfuck. And to be honest, this one is actually, well, leaning towards it. And roadmap, POS system launch, delegated staking, no Ether staking auction. So it isn't even launched yet. It's not even fully functional. Oh dear. Little hint for BitBoy: if you're going to shill a project, just make sure that if you shill it, that it's something which is, well, decently done and already finished up and running, not something in full development. Little hint there. Supported change, what is it? Ethereum, not surprising. Avalanche, Binance Smart Chain, not surprised. Elrond, it's another project I wasn't all too positive about. Polygon, that's Matic, was okayish, well, a bit on the Ethereum side if I'm not mistaken. Never heard of these guys. All the other ones. This is on Kraken with Crypto.com. On Revolut. I wanted to close this one, but from what I'm seeing, their main issue is to get listed everywhere and to get in as much money as possible. That's not a very good site. Wild attempt there. Don't like it. Blog. Yeah, it was normally for later on, but from what I can tell, these are the latest ones. Welcome to Cartesi headquarters. Now it's on Kraken. It's updated quite regularly, every week it seems. Yeah, every week or every few days often. Right, let's continue. The about. Augusto Texera, they gonna have and Colin Stel, okay. Got into blockchain as a result of one of founders being academic quarter with Sergey Popov, the founder of IOTA, okay. Investors and advisors, such original of creating a trustless AE marketplace for data scientists, okay. Into developing a first later to the team. There we go. We have team people. I'm naturally going to verify. They'll link it in profiles. By reason, well, most scam projects tend to draw pictures from the internet and well, make false accounts, etc. So if I can get a grip on some of the social media of these guys with clear references, it's positive news. Yeah, right. Want me to subscribe, so I have to close this one. Didn't foresee that one. So can't verify it, but if you guys want to do so, go on the about, check out the team, verify the link it in profiles. What you need to know to check out is if the names correspond, if the profile is quite active, you need to see references towards the team or any of its side components. So in this case, no Ether, Descartes, or Cartesi itself. If any of those things is missing, and consistently so with multiple members, you can choose at random or with the head, well, with the heads, CEOs, etc. In that case, you might be dealing with a scam. Bail out immediately. Don't get in. But at this moment, I'm going to give them the advantage of the doubt. They were LinkedIn profiles. I'm going to assume they are valid. Blog, check that out. So regular updates, that's the main thing I want to see here. Sometimes I'll read a little bit about the titles. Online chess is now integrated with crypto.com, so most of it seems to be about adaptation, where they are being listed, etc. What I'm getting here, ecosystem. See, I don't like seeing this. If I click on ecosystem, I want to see your associates, etc. Not you need to log in and you can buy CTSI directly with fiat currencies. I don't like it, especially. And okay, it's nice to see on which exchanges you are being listed, but it gives the immediate impression of, well, buy our coin, buy our coin, buy our coin. We are in it for the money. And considering its current price hike and the tip off to BitBoy, I'm going to assume it's going to be less about development and more about the money involved. However, it's a quite young project. I might be wrong. However, there are already a few strikes for all viewers who have been listening and paying attention up until now, which tick me off and give me the impression it's more about a money trap and less about the development and use case. So they're also mentioning where to store your CTSI, Atomic Wallet, Ledger, Crypto, Trezor, Trust Wallet, Wallet, Gorda Wallet, Gnosis Safe, and Crypto.com. I'm being informative here. I'm saying where you can find all the information here. Duckcoin market cap, yeah, we went in through CoinGecko, actually. Binance Pay, Travala. Travala is quite renowned if you guys want to spend your Bitcoin or whatever other cryptocurrency. Travala.com is actually a travel bureau. You can buy a variety of travels to exotic paradises, to the North Pole. I'm exaggerating here. And pay with your Bitcoin for your vacation. It's quite nice. Never used of it, but explored the sites a few times. So yeah, that's the ecosystem labs. Research and development of decentralized systems with Cartesi technology stack. Fund size. Project countries, funds allocated. Don't too much. Might be interesting. I'm not going to look all too deep into it. So, this actually tells me more than all the text that I've read. Cartesi with Descartes is a decentralized computation oracle for blockchains. The rollups are scalable smart contracts built with mainstream software stacks and high-performance sidechain for data availability. All three work together to give value to Cartesi. Decentralized applications. Let us see. Carti, Creeps, there's Poker Room, Creole, Sim Thunder. Okay, let's go. Chess games, computer game, okay. Texas Hold'em Poker. Paid network. Don't know what that one is. Unlocking next level decentralized gaming Cartesi. So it's mainly about programming games. Okay. Can be interesting. Why not? Not immediately my style. I'm not into online gambling in any case. Not with fiat money, not with cryptocurrency. I'm going to close this one. And we run through the entire site. Yeah, stake Ctsi. So you can make money by staking it, and they want you to buy it with Visa, naturally. Let's take a look at the Medium website. That's generally, well, Medium is actually a platform where articles and updates concerning a project can be made. I'm already happy to see it isn't blocked, unlike any other cryptocurrency projects I want to view here. So great going. Medium is already a first filter against scams and shills, mainly against scams. So the fact it didn't receive any other strikes is an indication it's doing well, that there is a certain amount of validity to it. But like I said, there are other strikes, other indications why I'm not as trustful as I should be, mainly because it's being launched and still in full development. There's a tip-off to influencers to boost the prices a little bit, and well, they are quite and very big into let's get our money and make money and focus less on the development. So yeah, now I'm here with the Token Sniffer. I'm going to do that one. It's quite simple. Copy the smart contract address, plug it in, push enter, let it do its work. And what do we see here? Etherscan. So it's created on Ethereum. A few indications. Data deployed April 20th, 2020 as the block. And as expected, verified contract source, no price similar token. So it checks out, it has some validity. It's built from the ground up. That's actually good news. Similar token contracts, 86% here, DAO House. So these are actually based off the contract that we see here. So it's got some clones already with, well, let's just say other names and a few other aspects. Let's just say DAO token here. We'll construct a string memory name. So that's the difference. That's main. That's the difference. So that's for Cartesi and that's for the other one. So you can easily check up the code for Cryptos here. Probably going to be the same. CRC20 mintable, so it checks out. Let's take a look at the communities here before I'm going to conclude this video and give you a small synopsis. Reddit, Twitter, Facebook. Yeah, Telegram is not available on this computer. Discord neither. Both are good indications. Telegram tends to be active. You can interact directly with the users of, although Telegram for blockchain and cryptocurrency projects I advise less to use. It's better to make use of Discord, which has a variety of subrooms, subspaces, where you can pose your questions directly towards most of the developers. If they are available, link it in. I'm going to check it out. Bitcoin Talk, that's good. Available on GitHub, not going to click on it. Let's see, Reddit. Does it want to load? Yes, now it does. That's why Reject non-essential. So, Cartesi's 2021 roadmap 6 months ago, so it's quite recent tweet, only half a year old. It's in the roadmap, so they are, well, searching for no Ether nodes. The huge bump the other day, bought a recent amount at 754 this day. They said to keep things high and isn't going much lower despite, so that's about making money. That's about how they failed to cash out on the dip. For staking, withdrawal time. For this, anything to know about the red hot Ctsi crypto. They are doing overtime with the marketing here. Ctsi, yeah, that's what we saw earlier. Welcoming too late for the pump, you want to wait for the price to settle. That's actually decent advice here. And so a network the same pretty close to what I do. It's got a massive pump for Ctsi, shilling. What did I miss? So I'm not doing, if you are interested in you do your own research. I'm doing especially the research here. I'm not going to comment on all treats here, but everything here is about the money. I'm not really memes here. Not really some decent updates and development. It's a bit of a shame. However, what I do notice, community is living more or less on Reddit. There's some activity here. Quite slow, but it's growing. Considering the youthfulness of the project, that's to be expected. Twitter. Let's see, smart contract tokens. So it has 49,600 followers. And that's a pinned one. I want to see if it checks out. 126 likes, 50. Well, it checks out where it concerns interaction. It's a bit on the lowish side, but you never know. Yeah, it gives me the indication there aren't bots being paid off to boost numbers on Twitter, which is great. Head of marketing, share how is evolving the market space. So they make quite a lot of own tweets. There's a retweet. There are two. Okay, so is some. Is it with their community? Well, it's going to be more or less with their community, but they tend to post their own tweets, but there's barely community interaction, so Twitter is quite dead. And that guy is related to Cartesi, so... And that's actually not all too positive. A healthy blockchain project or cryptocurrency project has more interaction with its members. They're mostly sharing information when it concerns trading and making money and how they are expanding their team. That's not a very good view to have. It gives me an underlying indication something is awry with the project. Let's see, Facebook. Yeah. 29th of July, monthly report. Okay. Facebook and their ads. Pain in the R. We can have never running out of lane, so regular updates. Okay, checks out. Quite an extensive thread here, 36 pages. A little introduction, but it seems those are, that's direct copies from their website. They didn't even take the time to write a proper mail. They simply copy-pasted. That's laziness. Intel's going to secure its future. To announce Ctsi is keeping us going like that before. And what's to come, right or watch below, shilling. So they give a lot of news updates, but I do not see interested community members actively talking with developers, etc. That's a tick off for me. I'm going to close this page. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. There we go. And I'm going to give a little synopsis here. So, Cartesi token. You guys might have noticed that I've taken the words shilling quite often into my mouth. And I must say, well, I try to be as objective as possible here. However, many of the news updates and blogs and things I've read give me the impression they are in it for the money and there's not really, well, development going on or a strong use case. To sum up in a few words what a use case is about, it has to do with, well, the development and deployment of second layer solutions, scalable smart contracts. That's an entire mouthful. It may already sound quite technical, but it's fairly simple, really. Smart contracts are some kind of algorithms being used to connect off-chain data with information on the blockchain. They're performing, well, an intermediary function in order to let certain applications run their course. For example, if you have a stable coin built on the Ethereum network and whose value is backed by 1 gram of gold, so 1 coin of your stable coin equals 1 gram of gold, well, it is of utmost importance that you know what the value of gold is. A smart contract connects that information from off-chain information, so the value of gold on a variety of indexes and a trusted source, Chainlink calls it an oracle, and connects it towards the blockchain, where it actually says, okay, that's the changing value, and I'm connecting it towards data on the blockchain where it is being saved. That's actually what a smart contract does. Scalable smart contracts implies, well, more complicated data to be saved towards the blockchain itself. So that's what they are more or less about. What they're also about is about the creation of such smart contracts, mainly to make those algorithms more simple programming. Why? Most of the things where it concerns blockchain is actually very, very technical. And Cartesi makes the claim, well, we are going to make it available for mainstream developers, for mainstream programmers. We are going to make and create a factual, how to say, easy environment whereby you can create your very own smart contracts by making use of a Linux operating system and all the programming languages, and that can be implemented on Ethereum blockchain, Binance chain, etc. So that's what they are about. I must say, and I hope it came true through all the talking I did in the video, I must say the use case in itself is something worthwhile. It is something interesting in my opinion. I'm not going to shoot them down for it. What I dare say is that it's already a little bit redundant. By reason, well, it isn't necessarily needed. Many programmers, many people who are busy with blockchain and smart contracts already have sufficient knowledge, well, to program and create their own smart contract applications, to develop and create their own second layer solutions. That's what you see all around if you investigate a little bit deeper into the crypto sphere. So what they're trying to do is, well, we're going to market and hype that it can be made simpler by making use of our blockchain. But people will be like, yeah, but we created our own chain and we're creating our own, well, second layer solutions. So in a sense, it's already being made redundant. It's filling up a niche that isn't really present. It is a niche, it is present, but it is not going to be used as often. Another aspect which ticked me off, and that's actually an important one, well, has to do with its historical value run. It's following market trends. It's 1 year old, and I do not see any kind of deviation in its value from current markets. If you want to have a decent project where you can see that's going to make money in the future, well, there must be a certain amount of correlation with the market. However, what we saw, and I'm going to reshare my screen here, but this time slightly different. Come on. There we go. That's the entire historical run, and you can clearly see here that its run started much later on in February of this year and peaked slightly before, and then it went crashing down. However, what the current market did during this period of time was consolidation, but it didn't went down continuously went down. It didn't dip. It stayed straight and is now back in an uptick. However, this uptick here is abnormal in itself also. It's very, very sudden and coincides with, well, the video BitBoy made on that date. So it has been chilled and a marketing promotional stint has been made, which has drawn the attention of a lot of investors. So that's actually market manipulation which occurred. And that's not a very good sign. It implies they know something is awry, something is going down. In reality, well, they were slightly bullish here, but in reality, with current market trends, they should have been at 60 cents here, not at a current, how much is it? 74, and especially not at a, I wanted to say all-time high, no, but to $1.10 approximately. So this implies there's a manipulation going on, and prices may crash later on. That's some decent shilling going on, and I'm not all too happy to see that one. It implies marketing is behind it. There is a synthetic manipulation, synthetic push on the project itself. It's not a good sign. Why? Well, does the sign scam projects make? Or, and I'm going to be blunt here, shit projects do in order to leverage money because they are unable to grow by themselves by reason that their use case is already either redundant or non-existent, which is, to me, clearly the case when I'm looking up its entire run here. So if I have to conclude, Cartesi isn't going to be your new Bitcoin if some think it will be. As a matter of fact, it's actually more or less of a redundant project. BitBoy's positivity should be tempered. It isn't as great as he made it out to be. So is it a worthwhile project to invest in? Maybe, in my opinion, no. The idea behind it, its use case behind it, well, mainly the idea and the premise on which it was built, that's something worthwhile, needs to be explored. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag where it concerns this Cartesi. If I have to draw white or black, I'm going to be negative about this project and going to write it off. I'm not going to say you must invest in it. It has some future potential. By reason, well, everything that I saw at this point in time and which has happened, it's untrustworthy and probably will be a dead project within 5 to 6 years easily. And that perhaps it's only going to follow the market for some time in the future, for the forthcoming months, maybe 2022 and perhaps 2023, 2024 might be dead. I'd love to be proven wrong, but I fear for it, really. So yeah, with that, I want to conclude this episode of the Crypto Bull. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys learned something new. Certain remarks, mistakes I made, you can easily be cordial in the comments down below. They are open for a reason. You can always reach out to me. If I made mistakes, everyone can make mistakes, will say so, and I'll gladly rectify it. Though from the things I've seen, I'm not all too positive about it. So thanks again for watching, and up until next time.